The conversion rates on these kind of sites are a little bit low, like a little bit lower than 10%, like a little bit lower than 10% of that. Dave Keys here. Let's have a look at something on my computer screen. And let's look at a property. We're on a website. And we're going to look at a property here. And so I want to start looking inside. So I do. Here's some pictures. And then I decide that, okay, I've seen this, it's alright, but maybe I want to look at something else. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to pick another property, perhaps. Let's go back to a different property and look at this one, okay? And so what's going to happen is I'm going to get a pop-up, and it's going to ask me for my email address, okay? And when it does, I'm going to leave, okay? Because I just want to look at properties. I didn't come here to interact with a realtor, and there's no reason to. I just want to see the houses. That's all I'm interested in right now, right? So now I've left. The real estate agent will never know who I am. There's never a reason to come in here and make a connection with the agent. It was right to properties, and that I was really not even deterred in looking at properties, and that's the focus of the website. Well, there's another website that does the same thing better, and that is going to be Zillow.com. Okay, and they show properties, and I can look at them, and I can put in any address in the country, okay, or zip code, or any way that I want to look. And so I look at home, and I can look to my heart's content. But still, if I am going to make a connection with a real estate agent, the conversion rates on these kind of sites are a little bit low, like a little bit lower than 10%, like a little bit lower than 10% of that. In a lot of cases, less than a percentage point. Most people come and look at these sites and they leave. They never make contact with the agents. And when they do, they're not necessarily great leads, because there's no connection with the Dwight Head team or Patricia Elston or Rachel Bragg or anybody. I don't have any reason to trust them or mistrust them. In fact, I'd rather not think about agents. As a consumer, I look at agents as someone who comes in and takes a chunk of money out of the transaction. And I end up on either side, on the losing side of that, because somebody's trying to get that money back, the seller, most of the time. So I view it as not good for me, and if I'm the seller, I certainly view it as not good for me. That's the default thinking of a lot of the market. Now, the agent's job is to sell themselves from start to finish. If you don't have a real value, then why are you in the business? If you have a real value, you need to help your visitor understand what the benefit is of working with you and no one else in your market. Why should I, as a consumer, choose you instead of somebody else in your market, or going it on my own? Well, you and I probably both have a lot of the same reasons in our minds as to why somebody should not try to buy a house on their own, but that's not the way that your market's thinking. And if they are, then they go about the process of choosing an agent. And National Association of Realtors said back in 2007, 65% of them are simply going to work with the first one they contact. So why isn't your website encouraging, promoting, motivating, coercing everything, your leads, into contacting you right away, before they look at properties, before they start examining homes? They need to understand what you are there in the marketplace for, and they don't. And most agents don't tell them. They sit politely by and let people choose, like in the 50s, when girls would be on the dance floor along the edges at a high school dance and wait for a boy to come and pick them. And that's no life for a real estate agent. You need to immediately engage your prospect and explain to them in no uncertain terms why they need to be working with you, and not even consider not having a realtor and not consider having someone else when they have found you. It's your job to persuade them why it's so critically important that they should work with you. And if you don't have that message, it's time to create it. It's time to put all your focus into overcoming that barrier, because that right there stands in between you and making money in your business. This is Dave Keys.